Alrighty, howdy neighbors and welcome back to the Devine Speaker. Last time, to no one's shock, Nox was revealed to be the bad guy, but not Nox, the one we know, but instead a demon living inside Nox. Another surprise, we got separated from our group. Who would have thunk? And now we're just trying not to die. But again, I'm the one in control, so it's not gonna turn out too good. Anyway, let's continue.
That's what you wanted, wasn't it? To be my savior. To redeem me. But life isn't a fairy tale.
I tried to pull my wrist from his grip, but it was pointless. This is how I die.
Nox! Please help me! Nox!
I won't let him help you. Not this time.
Put the fire out in his eye. Watch me grin. Two fangs poked out over his bottom lip. Is this it? Tore me to shreds so easily. No, please. I'm not ready to die. Not yet. So much I don't know. So much left to see. There's nowhere left to escape. No paths out of this. Brought his face close to my neck.
Please, someone!
I'm going to enjoy this. You smell delicious.
Please stop smelling me.
Feel free to scream all you want. No one's going to save you.
It's gonna be Leos. Or a green hair guy. Those are my two bets. Ew. Ew, I don't want to read it. His tongue ran down my throat. I could feel his fangs scraping against me. It's gonna rip out my throat. I'm gonna die.
Nox, please!
Door flung open abruptly, landing so hard that it echoed through the room. Two silver blurs came flying out through the open door, straight toward the table. One lodged in the wood, the other on Nox's shoulder.
Ouch!
Ouch! Knocked to the side, there was a strange-looking dagger sticking out in the table. It looked different from Leos's, and it was only inches from my face. That almost killed me. Who was throwing daggers around like that? Nox let me go, reaching up to remove the blade from his arm.
You know, it's terribly rude to interrupt someone when they're eating. A simple knock would have sufficed.
I love the level of snark in this game. I cannot explain why I love it so much, I just do. With the weight off my body, I rolled off the table and hit the ground. Quickly, I stood and backed away from Nox. He dropped the bloody dagger onto the table and turned its attention to the doorway. The figure stepped into the room, a serious expression on his face. Wait, really? Yeah! I don't like this dude. I love his bird, though. Green hair pulled into a fluffy ponytail, tumbled out over his back. A small bird sat on his shoulder. His usual teasing grin was gone. The bird flew from his shoulder straight at me and... poof! White cloud suddenly took up all my view. I coughed, swatting it away from my face. It dissipated, apart from a swell cloud that surrounded... Wait, what? I blinked a few times, but it didn't help me in understanding what I was seeing. Huh? Cool. Cool, that's a whole man right there. It's like a man stood in front of me, shielding me from Nox. It was like he jumped straight out of the clouds. He was the same color as a peach, and he had no clothes on. He was completely nude. My head spun. What exactly is going on? Without delay, the green-haired man threw a bundle of cloth over his companion's shoulders, turning his gaze toward me. How did I go from being held down, fighting for my life, to this? What is going on?
What? What's going on? Who?
Partially dressed in what looked like a poncho, he pulled on my wrist and led me away from Nox. Finally got a glimpse of his face. His features were gentle and calm, but his expression looked grave.
Rain. Stand back.
If you insist.
My. What have we here? Unannounced guests. Well, the more the merrier. I was feeling particularly hungry tonight anyway.
What a gracious offer! Thanks, but you'll be going hungry tonight, it seems.
We'll see about that.
Blood soaked through Nox's shirt, taining it red. I didn't seem pained, instead almost amused. I see fingers tightened around my wrist.
Your actions don't befit someone of your status, god of the hunt. Stand down.
I am no god. And you? Who are you to judge what befits me? No human...
He's a bird.
No. Wait.
He's a bird. Nox peered into the peach-haired... Oh my god. Nox peered at the peach-haired man through the darkness, scrutinizing his every movement.
You aren't human. You're just like me.
I'm sorry, the song just kicked in.
Like you? A murderous dog that needs to be muzzled? No, you aren't similar at all.
What you're doing here is wrong. You've abandoned your duty to these people. You've thrown them to the side.
I owe them nothing. They rid me of my duties when they decided to cage me and feed on my flesh. They sealed their own fate. I watched over these lands for hundreds of years. I gave my all for these people. And look what they did. They betrayed me!
I am truly sorry for what you went through. I know how that feels. I experienced something not so different from you. Your lust for revenge isn't misplaced. What they did to you was wrong, and many of them deserve death. But the child you possess committed no misdeed. Neither did your other victims.
They are no different. Given time, they'll do the same as their parents and grandparents did before them. You and me, we're the same. Someone like you should be able to see that these walking diseases should be nipped in the bud.
No. That's where we differ, it seems. Humans aren't perfect. They have their faults. They sin, their minds can be filled with greed. But that comes with being human. Everyone makes mistakes. You don't have the right to determine their fate. Killing them is wrong. They must be left to learn and grow, to be forgiven for their missteps. They have to be allowed to determine their own fate.
Oh, your wisdom astounds me. Need I remind you of what happened when we last trusted in humans? We were outlawed, hunted, and killed. Exiled from the heavens with nowhere to run. We all swore to protect them at any cost, and they repaid us with murder. Those that survived were left with nothing. They don't deserve forgiveness, they deserve death. They must pay for their crimes.
That was hundreds of years ago. Humans change. They adapt. You need to let go of your hate.
The man in front of me. And he's a god? That's what you got from this? Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed the green-haired man circling behind Nox, slowly and quietly, while his attention was elsewhere. In his hand, I saw a glistening metal dagger.
Wait! I haven't forgotten about you, human.
He spun around and grabbed the green-haired man by the shoulder, and instantly lashed out, aiming for his throat. At once, the peach-haired man pushed the other out of the way, taking his place. Nox instantly bit down into his throat. Squeezed my eyes shut, unable to watch the horrendous scene. I have to do something. Then Nox went skidding across the floor, thrown away.
Are you okay? Don't worry about it now. We have something more important to deal with.
He held his hand to his throat, stopping the bleeding.
How? My strength.
The dagger was laced. The poison isn't lethal, but you'll be paralyzed long enough for us to deal with you.
Please. Please just kill me. I can't live like this any longer.
She approached and examined him closely.
He doesn't deserve this. No one does. But he's too big a threat to be left alive. Now that I'm finally talking to you face to face, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you've had to live like this. I'm sorry that you've only seen the worst of us. But be at ease. Your soul will finally be free.
Wait, please wait! There must be some way to save him, please! Anything but killing him!
They've been together for far too long. If there's a way to separate the two of them, I don't hold that knowledge, but there may be something I can do.
Please. I could never forgive myself if I let him die now.
I'm afraid the other option might be worse than death. I can take away enough of his soul to knock him out, and we can take him to someone who may be able to help. But there's no guarantee he'll ever awaken. And if he doesn't, he'll be trapped with that demon.
This is my decision to make. A journey of pain trapped with a demon. No, I couldn't. He looked toward Nox. His eyes were returned to pink.
Rain. You... Before we met, this was all I dreamt for, but the risk of never waking up is worth it if one day I can be free. I'll be strong. No! I'll not be taken so easily!
Quickly, pin him down!
I jumped behind him. I jumped down beside the green-haired man and held Nox to the ground. Between the two of us, we managed to pin him down as he struggled. He was still strong beyond words, but it was nothing compared to the strength I felt before. The poison was working.
Let me go! I'll kill you! I'll kill every single one of you! I'll rip out your throats and feast on you for days! You'll pay for that!
Sorry, buddy, you're not gonna have the chance. If you ever wake up again, it won't be in this body.
Get off of me!
I love his nails! I didn't even notice. Oh my goodness, that's such a good color.
Nox, I'm sorry for what I'm about to do to you. I hope we're both your six that we can help you, and that one day you can be at peace.
Is he about to munch? He approached and put his mouth to Nox's throat before biting down into his flesh.
What's he doing?
Eating.
Stay quiet, kid. He's doing exactly what you asked of him. He's saving his life.
The wound on the mystery man's neck slowly stitched back together as he fed on Nox.
Nox, I'm so sorry. I promise that no matter what happens, I'll try to help you. Always.
His eyes faded from black to white again, and he looked at me pained.
Rain. Before I go, please. Call me Soren.
His real name. Before all this happened.
Soren. I promise. I'll find a way to fix this.
Thank you. Fine. Caspian.
His eyes shut and his head sagged to the side. The man with peach-colored hair stood up and stepped back, his face covered in Nox's... no. Soren's blood.
It's done. You won't be able to cause any more harm.
Soren. I'm so sorry. If only I wasn't so weak.
Then do something about it, dude. There's like a misconception that if you are weak now, you will always be. And that's not true. You can work on it. You can get stronger. You have people around you who can help you get stronger. Rely on others. And then you'll be able to do it on your own.
Toughen up. What's done is done.
Be a little more sympathetic. Rain, listen to me. You did so much already. Without you, he would have given up. You're a true friend. Don't think that you're weak, because that's just not true.
It is true, actually.
But he might never wake up.
All we can do is hope. You've done your part.
That thing you did. What was it?
Now isn't the time to go into it. We have some cleaning up to do. Later, we can talk more.
I think it's time for us to leave. We've been here long enough already.
I let go of Soren. And he no longer fought against us. The green-haired man stood up and put him over his shoulder.
Where are you taking him?
I know someone who may be able to help, but he's not in Oxabor. Come on, we're getting out of here.
I followed the other two men out of the room after picking up a lit candle. Like Soren told me, no point in letting the house burn down. Soren. Nox. This isn't how I wanted everything to end. Peach-haired man walked by my side, watching ahead. Now that everything had calmed down, I noticed some things about him that I didn't before. His eyes were clouded over, almost foggy. He must have been blind, and yet he found his way around with almost no problem. And before, he was a bird, right? Did I imagine that? A bird, a man, a god.
Rain, I know today's events must be weighing heavily on your mind, and nothing I can say will lighten the load. Just know this. This was the best possible outcome. There's no other way this could have ended.
I know that. But I can't help but feel like I should have done more for him.
The man smiled at me softly.
You did more than you know.
As we approached the entryway, I heard frantic yelling.
What happened? What are we doing here? My head hurts. Fawn, can you kiss it better?
Yeah.
Now is not the time. Leos, wake up.
Oh, just let me sleep.
Poor Leo.
Wake up.
Go away, mouse boy.
I didn't want to have to do this.
The sound of a slap echoed through the hallway.
Ow! God, what the hell? What'd you do that for, huh?
Will you wake up already? Rain's missing.
He's what? Where are we? We were just searching the mansion, right?
Guys?
When we entered the entryway, the pairs of eyes turned to face us. First I looked relieved, and they noticed the people I was with.
What's going on? There's a lot to explain. I'm so happy to see you three.
Before I realized that tears were streaming down my cheeks. I'm so happy to be alive, to see my friends again.
What's gotten into you?
Aw, he's crying. I think it's time for a group hug.
For once, I agree.
I don't think now's the time to.
Stein pulled over Leos and Fawn against their will, from his arms around all of us. I quickly did the same.
Okay, that's enough. Can you tell me what exactly happened?
No, it's not enough. Where to start? Slowly I went over the events of what just happened, explaining in detail. At times their faces showed disbelief, and other times sadness. Each word that escaped my mouth seemed like a lie, so much so, even I found myself hard to believe. And yet they listened to every word intently.
So, in short, the Nox we knew was actually Soren. And Nox was really a demon. A god. I wanted to help him. I wanted to save him, but this was the best we could do.
It just had to be this guy that turned up. What are you doing here?
Oh, not happy to see me?
Not exactly. But I'll put my disdain to the side for now since you saved his life.
There's no point giving me your praise. If I went in there alone, you would have found my body later, too.
He pointed toward the peach-haired man, who stared in our direction.
I'm sorry this is where we had to become acquainted. Under better circumstances.
You were A bird? That turned into a man?
It's a long story, and this isn't the place to discuss it.
Isn't it about time you properly introduced yourselves? I can't help but think that this isn't the kind of thing travelers get involved with.
I promise. I'll explain everything properly later. For now, we must get Nox and Soren to someone that can help. And the only way to do that is to leave Oxabor.
As we approached the front door, I blew out the candle and set it down. It's almost sad. Was this the last candle that ever be lit in this house? The last to ever be blown out? Will Soren get to come back? We exited through the doorway, out into the chilly streets of Oxabor. The darkness outside felt light compared to the heaviness of Soren's mansion. The air was fresher, more alive. After everything that happened, I breathed a sigh of relief. I made it. Fawn, Leos, and Sign were all okay. Soren, he had a glimmer of hope. We walked through the streets and alleyways until we reached the main road.
This doesn't feel great, does it?
No, it doesn't. He must have felt so alone. So abandoned. He had no one to turn to or depend on. Both Nox and Soren.
Yeah, this is not a feel-good story, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel
And everyone else.
sorry for both of them.
Me too. Wait a minute. Before we leave, there's something I have to do first.
I led the group toward the town center and approached the village notice board. Last on the list was my name. Rain.
Does anyone have something I can write with?
Here.
Under my name, I wrote Soren Morano. I looked at it for a moment before turning away. This ends things. It's time to leave.
The next stop is Sidkayam. Soren mentioned that Caspian fled there to get away from Nox.
Sid Cam? You never stop surprising me. Actually, that's where I'm headed to as well.
I am not surprised.
Wait, weren't you meant to return home? You live in Sidkayam?
That's right. I was feeling a little sad, you know? Thinking we'd have to part ways after all we've been through together and all we have left to do. But fate really has a way of making things happen, huh?
Yeah, I'm feeling the joy.
Why don't you come back in my carriage? It's a few days' travel away, and I have plenty of room to spare.
Well, what a kind offer. It would be rude of me not to accept.
Who invited you? Walk.
How many times do I have to tell you? You have to ask first. You can't just hitch a ride with whoever you want. Although, if it was being offered, we wouldn't turn it down. The person who may be able to help Nox also lives in Sidkayam, and if we have to carry him the whole way, it'll add days to our journey.
The more the merrier, of course.
The smile was wiped right off his Sign's face. He seemed wary. Not annoyed like Leos, but as if he was quietly calculating something.
Wait, are you kidding me? The last time was hell and I have to do it again?
I'm so sorry, sir.
Last time wasn't so bad.
Maybe for you. I was squished between a bunch of assholes.
I'm sorry.
I can't thank you enough. If you're happy to have us, of course we'll come with you.
Let's not waste any more time then. It's finally time for the shadow to pass over Oxabor.
Perhaps tomorrow will be the day a new sun rises.
We found ourselves headed toward the outskirts of town, where Lilith dropped us off yesterday. It was almost funny how that felt like it happened weeks ago, but in reality, we spent only 2 days here.
Oh, I have to warn you, my driver is...
Huh? Sir, is that you?
Here we go again.
He ran at Sign faster than I'd ever seen a human being move. He dashed forward and crashed to the ground at Sign's feet, sobbing.
Sir, how could you do this to me? You've been gone since yesterday. I thought you were dead. I've been worried sick.
Come on, it was just a little detour. No harm done.
No harm. Your parents are going to kill me. They'll murder me! Every time I tell you not to run off, and yet you do it anyway!
I'm noticing a theme with Sign.
You're embarrassing me. Stand up.
Can I help you up?
I risked my hand out to help the man get up, but he just glared at me from the ground.
And who are these people? Don't tell me you've picked up even more men. What will your parents think? You know they don't like you hanging around the common folk.
Hey, what does he mean by common folk?
Yeah, if anything, we are not.
I almost feel like I should be offended.
Oh, Lord Synaculus. All night, I've been wandering the streets, trying to find you. Why would you do this to me?
Synaculus now!
Hey, don't call me.
Synaculus.
Synaculus? Is that your name?
Oh, no.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. That's it's hilarious. Hold on. Let me bow down to you, Lord Synaculus.
Shut up! Pretend you never heard that.
Oh my goodness, the Lord Synaculus. Oh, this is the best part of the game. His sign was red from ear to ear and he refused to meet my eyes. Surprisingly, I found it pretty refreshing to see. Lord, though. Interesting. He must be pretty important. More so than he seemed at first. Since he usually spends his time messing around, it's hard to imagine him as a lord. But he does have a lot of money, and a driver for his fancy carriage. His personality is very lordly, though. I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to discuss his lordness. If this trip is as long as I've been told, though.
Just shut up. This is my retainer, Ether.
What is a retainer? Synaculus quickly dragged Ether up from the ground, where he still laid in pile sobbing.
Get a hold of yourself. Don't you think it's time to go home? Look, I'm here. Let's go.
Sir, we're already 2 days late. There's no explaining ourselves out of this. I'll be killed. Or worse, fired.
Why is that worse?
Okay. I promise I won't run off. All right. Does that make it better?
Nah.
I've said that last time too. Sir, you have to pinky promise me.
The strongest of promises.
Will you shut up? I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not doing that.
My guy, I'm 23 and I still honor pinky promises.
Then I'm not going anywhere. You didn't have any problem with it last week.
Just fine. Okay, fine. I pinky promise I won't run off again. And we leave now?
Is it really okay that we hitch a ride? If it's too difficult, we can just...
No, you're coming with me. Ether, get the horses ready to leave.
You're bringing them with you? Don't you think they're a little dirty?
We're standing right here. I can hear every word you're saying.
I can't carry this guy all day. Get a move on.
Let me give you a hand with him.
Thanks. Let's just set him down in the back.
They pushed the horror-stricken driver out of the way and said, Soren's unconscious body in the back of the carriage. Soren gave Ether a look and he ran toward the driver's seat. I felt a little bad for him having to deal with all of our trouble. The rest was piled into the back. Wow! The interior was even more lavish than I had imagined. Lila's carriage, while comfortable, couldn't dream of comparing Even so, with all 7 of us squished in, it was a little tight. Sign, Leos, Fawn, and I sat on one side, while Soren and the other 2 sat on the other side. Seeing as Sign traveled here alone, it was surprising that his carriage was quite this big.
Wow, this is cozy. And a much better idea than traveling by foot. I should give myself a pat on the back for getting us this ride.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here. I'm gonna be laughing about Sinaculus for quite a while now. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I will see you later.